Joining us now to discuss all of this is distinguished professor at Touro University, Thane Rosenbaum, and prosecutor Wendy Patrick. I want to go to you, Wendy, first, if we could. Talk to us about the powers of the special counsel. What makes the naming of a special counsel different than just a regular federal prosecutor?
Well, remember, special counsels have, and I hate to use the word powers, but I guess I will just to sort of distinguish it. They have expanded powers to do different types of investigation. And not only that, they also have power to investigate any other matters that arise or might arise from the investigation. So it's a much broader scope. So it is true that, Mr. Weiss was already looking into the Hunter Biden case and knows a lot about it. But the fact that Merrick Garland phrased it the way he did, he probably meant to say it's in the interest of justice. But what he ended up saying is it's in the public interest. Maybe you could argue there's a lot of overlap there. But it seems like we were so sure that this plea deal was going to be wrapped up, tied with a bow, and be done with. Now it is not only completely unraveled, but now you've got a special counsel that is going to be able to broaden the scope of the investigation if that's where the facts lead. So it's a significant development.
Thane, of course, former President Trump wasting no time in putting out a statement. Here's what he said. Crooked Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and the entire Biden crime family have been protected by the Justice Department for decades. If this special counsel is truly independent, he will quickly conclude that Joe Biden, his troubled son Hunter, and their enablers, including the media, which colluded with the 51 intelligence officials who knowingly misled the public about Hunter's laptop, should face the required consequences. Thane, I want to get your thought on that, but before I do, I just want to add this. We're also hearing reports that Attorney General Garland actually violated or is violating DOJ regulations by appointing David Weiss as special counsel, because apparently in their regulations it says that a special counsel cannot be a federal employee, which David Weiss is.
Nina, you and I, that mind meld, that is exactly where I was going. Yeah, what makes this guy so special? In order to be special, Katrina, you have to come from outside the investigation. That's what makes you special. You're not tainted by the earlier investigation. Remember, David Weiss is the one that approved the sweetheart deal. He is the one that allowed the 2 tax years for tax evasion, 2000, 2015, which is where all the money was really rolling in. Those dates are off the table because they are expired under the statute of limitations. That's the special counsel? That's the way you went outside the influence of the Department of Justice and you found someone that was independent? Here's something that's interesting for the two of you. Notice the clip you showed of Merrick Garland. He said, David Weiss came to me. What do you mean he came to you? What about you? You're the Attorney General. Why aren't you going, oh my God, my whole Department of Justice looks like a clown show. We look like we're just in the tank for the Biden administration. I've got to do something. I've got to go get myself a special counsel. Here we're being told that the guy that approved the sweetheart deal said, you know what, I'd like to take another look. And you said yes. Remember the whistleblowers? The whistleblowers said that David Weiss lied to them. He said that he had full special counsel authority and then later said he didn't. And now we know he didn't because he just asked for it.
Yeah.
So it is sort of strange. What is the mandate that he has? Is he going to go after failure to register as a foreign agent? As Wendy pointed out, he has scope, but will he exercise the scope?
Wendy, to you on the point that Professor Rosenbaum was making, is this kind of, it is strange. There's nothing normal about any of this. Is this sort of a CYA move on the part of David Weiss, who's gotten a lot of criticism for the way that this whole thing collapsed and the way that this whole thing went down, for him to say, give me the special powers and let me go back and try again?
I love it, the special powers, and I'm waiting for Thane to tell us how he really feels about all of this. But in terms of...
Give me a chance.
Yeah, right. You know, in terms of trying to figure out why this was done and why he wanted to take it over the way that he did, you have to believe that he looked behind the scenes to see what the requirements would be to do so. So it is curious that as Thane points out, that he's sort of in this mess right now. But what a mess that plea bargain was, and maybe that's one of the reasons that there may be some alternative way of structuring a way to settle this case,
right?
Or to make it go away. And I don't mean that nefariously, but to settle the matter without tying it back to the White House, because that's the real relevance is what does it have to do with Joe Biden, the big guy?
Right.
And if they can't settle that without making it a sideshow that's going to detract from the election, well, then that may be a reason to maybe look into other areas as a special counsel is allowed to do.
And of course, as Wendy was pointing out and Thamer was pointing out, the special counsel would give him the ability to look potentially past this case into connecting matters that could also catch the president in the crosshairs of all of this.
But also, it also might make him unable to speak, say, to the House Oversight Committee because he's involved in an ongoing investigation. So lots to talk about. Unfortunately, we're out of time with Thane and Wendy, but we really appreciate both of your excellent insights as always.